Welcome to day one of the 12 Days of Christmas. And I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday. It feels like a long time since I streamed. I know I took a little time off in between. This time of year is just, the days go and they run together and I have no brain during the time. So I am really looking forward to this 12 days of streaming every day, having my focus on various crafts. I'm going to start out with spinning today, which is fitting, and then maybe end for sure, but there'll be a lot of spinning, but there's also other things that I want to do, so I cannot say what it's going to be. Just check my Discord. I will always be posting in the morning after I consider a little bit my options and decide what feels like the most fun to do. But it is going to take us into the new year. I firmly believe getting into the new year, doing what you resolutely want to be doing most of the year. Knots and Stitches, hello. I am glad you're spinning too, and welcome. I hope you had a wonderful holiday. We had a good one. We spent yesterday with the in-law, sister-in-law. We spent the day before with my daughter and grandson, so it was a good family holiday. I am going to spin this green unknown breed. I want to do this today. I want to finish this up. It'll be the second bobbin. I already have a bobbin ready of it, and I am just going to apply green on green. So I'll have a green yarn. So this is what I'm going to work on today, and I'll talk about stuff as it comes to me. I just did a little bit of a walk down memory lane, and I did post it in my Discord, a video that was probably the very first spinning video that I did, even before I was streaming, right? And you know, I don't really know the date that I did it. I forgot to look at if that was actually listed on there, but I was so proud of that video, right? I didn't know all about this camera stuff at that time. So anyway, if you're on my Discord, take a look at that, because that's what I just finished doing, and it makes me immensely happy. Let's go to live scene. I can scratch my nose. Okay, I have something else to show you. Let me go back. Sorry, I'm going to bounce around here a minute. Let me go back to this and hold this up. Well, maybe I can. Let's see here. I don't want to do that. All right, I'm going the other way. Sorry, I hadn't figured out how I was going to show this off. This is a pin that I have, pulled out of my. Let's do it this way. That's pretty good. This is hand painted. And as you can see, they're Kachinka dolls, or whatever those are called. Now, they're not actually functional dolls. They're just the image of them. But I adore this pin. I very seldom wear it. And I got some lunch crumbs over here. Let me get that off. Nope. This side. They're adorable. Aren't they adorable? So somebody painted those. I can't imagine that. Really, I can't imagine that. It is so fun. And the one thing that I was doing this morning, I was thinking of wearing a necklace with this red, and I was in my jewelry box poking around, and I ran across all the pins that I have. Hi, Guitar Nut. Good afternoon to you. And I hope you had a good holiday. And so I have so many pins that, my brain is all thinking about this 12 days of Christmas thing. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to wear a different pin every day. Now, I'm not going to wear the same shirt every day, but I'll wear shirts that can show off the pins and show off some of the pins that I've accumulated over the years. I have a lot. I want to do one thing, if you'll bear with me here. I am still getting into the habit of, I want to put, let's see, yep, that's what I want. That says Tour de Fleece last day. That was the last time oh wait, I need to double click it there. All right, let's make this the official title, day 1 of 12 days of, I will try to remember to change that before didn't spell Christmas right, before I get online. But like I said, I'm still getting my head wrapped around doing this. Yay, there we go. It's kind of big, isn't it? Let me go back and let me see if I can make it a little smaller. That looks better. Yeah, that looks good. Picky, picky, picky. I know. Oh, shoot. Alright, everything go away. And we're ready to go. Okay, so I said I'm going to just spend the day. I'm just going to let my brain get a break from the holidays. I imagine everybody feels somewhat the same. It's just like, it always feels like such a jumble of things I gotta remember. And then as we go along through this 12 days of Christmas, I have a lot of show and tell and things that I want to talk about. Some of it from the cruise, some of it fiber related. I have an Advent bag. We will definitely go through that on one of these 12 days. And the second thing that I haven't figured out for sure is, I said this on Discord, I don't know what time each day. I am going to try and stick to, I want to say midday, but my other thing is I like to be able to give people a chance to see it at their leisure, right? I want to fit their schedule, and that is really the only way to do that is to stream a variety of times into our blogs. So, morning, afternoon, late afternoon, early evening. I try to catch the 2 blocks of time on my regular twice a week, but with this option of the 12 days, I have more time to possibly catch some new viewers. So, I will be basing it on my real life schedule and what's going on, and I will post it. Otherwise, just keep your eye open, and if you don't catch it when I'm live, you can always go back and watch it on the channel page, my channel page. It's called VODs, Video on Demand. You can always catch it then. The one thing about not putting up much Christmas, I hear a blue jay outside my window there. You might even hear it. The one thing about not putting up much Christmas is there's not much to put away. So, I was so limited in time, I just didn't put a whole bunch up. And this is the first year that since hubby and I got married, that we didn't have a Christmas tree up. I know, not I thought about getting one of the little ones out, and it just got so complicated because the Christmas is stored underneath the stair steps. You know, the Harry Potter closet, and sometimes it's not easy to find just one thing. It only really works well when you're getting everything out. And you do your decorating, and then you put everything in, and then you get everything out, and you put it all away, and then you put it all back into the closet. It never goes back in the same order. Never. Alright, first ad break is coming, 4 minutes. Just give you a heads up. Might be the time to go get your project. I know Knot said she's already spinning. Knots, you can tell me what you're spinning. What fiber are you working with today? This is an unknown breed wool. It's from Woolly Knob Mills. And they do a combination of wools, some of their own raising, some of neighbors' raising, dye it and process it through their mill. They're usually at 2 of the fiber fairs I go to. So it's time to start getting excited about the spring fiber fairs. Never too early to be excited about that. Multicolor mystery wool, just like me, except you got color. What colors? You haven't spun in ages. You've been knitting up a storm. Oh, it is. It really is either or. I know, isn't it? I mean, there's just only so much free time in the day. And Guitar Nut, I don't know if you heard, but go to my Discord, and in, where did I put it in? I think I put it in Memories. Spinning Memories. I put it in Spinning Memories because it's a true memory. A link to a YouTube video that I'm the very, very first spinning movie, right, video that I ever made before I even started streaming. I was still doing podcasts when I did it. If you haven't seen it already, I am spinning Angora at the beginning on a it's not a drop spindle, but it's a spindle. It's a one that sits on the table, and it's called a Royal Hare. Hare. Got it specifically for Angora. Does really well. Runs on ball bearings. It's so cool. There's some green, pink, blue, and a little yellow. Sounds pretty. I'll tell you, I could just about spin any color, any fiber, if it feels right. You know, it's got to feel right. Alright, 24 seconds. I'll see you guys. Sorry, but thank you for sticking around and watching the ads. I appreciate it. All right, welcome back. Santa was good to me. Um, Hubby and I don't exchange gifts. We treat each other's to things together. You know that when we go on our weekends or whatever, all that. So we don't uh, exchange gifts. So I get gifts from one good friend and from my daughter, and um, his sister, my sister-in-law. We went to their house last night. Gave us two bags of coffee from Seattle, a roaster in Seattle, and it's not Seattle Best. It's it's one of their small roasters. She has two kids that live in Seattle, and she went to visit them before the holidays, so she brought that back for us. She knows we're big coffee drinkers, so that I'm looking forward to that. My daughter got me God, a lot of good stuff. Mine's kind of running a blank here right now. Plus, I was spot on the gifts I gave this year. I was just so excited about that. I gave her a spice advent calendar. I did not give it to her for Advent. I gave it to her for Christmas. But every day you open it up a different spice. And then there was one spice that I saw in King Arthur. Used it for topping on bread. And so I had never heard of it, so it sounded very exotic. I went ahead and got a bottle of that, put that in the recipe in the thing for her. We gave her drink bombs. So you drop it in there and fizz it up, and it makes a flavoring for your vodka, different flavorings. That's a fun thing. She made a Christmas stocking for me. I mean, she didn't make the stocking. She made up items that would have gone in a stocking. She put them in a basket. But one of the things was Hustle Coffee. There we have in town a place called Brews and oh man, I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's a coffee shop. But they do their own roasting also. So she gave me some of that coffee, which is real exciting. And the way they did it was a gift bag where they put, I think maybe it is called Brews and Books. I'm not sure, but they make a gift bag that has coffee and a classic, different books. So you get coffee and a book. And she picked what she picked for me because it said a true classic, right? So that was a book I had never heard of and never read, and I'm not going to be able to tell you the title. Isn't that terrible? But I'm quite excited about it, to be able to read it. I love that. I love books. Mostly just had a really good time. We ate there, and she's in her new house. It was really nice. I told her I was passing the torch on, that, we wouldn't have it at our house anymore. She just looked at me and she said, whatever. I was like, yeah, Mom, I believe that. I'll believe that when I see it. But it really was too much of a to-do with the short amount of time I had after coming back with a cruise. So it was really nice to be able to not have to worry about that. My house is in a very pleasant chaos. I mean, everything's everywhere, and eventually I'll get around to straightening it out, but it's the post-holiday chaos that always seems to come around. Santa, yes, aka my parents got me some goodies, a pattern book, stitch markers, a battery for your EEW. Oh, wow. Okay, that's cool. And did you do the upgrade kit? Because my daughter just did she had the very first version, and she did the upgrade for it on her own. Guitar Nut, the cruise was awesome. Panama Canal was amazing. We did have some bad weather as far as rain. It just must be the rainy season down there, because we had more rain on this cruise than we've had on almost any other cruise. But the Panama Canal was like I expected, but not. I didn't really know what to expect. And the thing is, you don't get off the ship. It's not like you go out and do anything on excursions on that day. That day is focused on just getting from one side of Panama to the other side, right, into the Caribbean. And therefore, everything you see, you're going to see just what you see on the side of the ship, or if you walk around outside, maybe to the front, some of the people did. But the reason I know they did that is because the camera was on the bridge, was turned on. On cruises, they always have what they call bridge cams, and it's on the TV all the time. I mean, sometimes it's just dark. It's night. You can't even see it, but it's always on. And during the day, you can see the forward view that the captain sees. And so anyway, the bridge cam was on when we went through the Panama Canal. So that, through the TV in my cabin, I got to see us in the lock, which was concrete everywhere, right? And the water rising, right? And then the huge, thick concrete lock itself, that holds the water in there, moves on ginormous Hyundai motors or whatever, and just goes just like that, and then we cruise on forward. And we did that through 3, which was what they called the Panama Canal. But the thing that surprised me was that was over in about 2 hours, and then we kept going on and on and on, and we kept hitting more locks, right? It's the whole thing to get from one side to the other has lots of locks. It's not just the 3 locks for the Panama Canal and then you're over there. It was a long journey on this body. It was called a lake. It was called a lake, but it was huge. It was huge. Yeah, I have seen locks, not ever in it, but I have seen locks and that sort of thing, but never to be in one. Yeah, and you've got to remember, this is a cruise ship. I mean, it only looked like we had inches on the side of the boat. When I went out on the balcony and looked down, and I'm looking down we were on the 9th deck. I'm looking down 9 decks, right? And it looks like there's just inches. I know there's plenty of room, but it really blows my mind that those ships can go through those locks because they're so big. Yeah, it was great. And definitely the highlight of the trip. The rest of the trip was stopping at ports in Mexico that we've already been to. We went to a private island. Every cruise line has this now, which we had been to before. so we knew it. But we went out, and it was raining. We were in a lounge chair under an umbrella, big sun umbrella, avoiding the rain. Now, I was dressed to be wet because if it had been nice, we would have been going into the ocean, but it was kind of funny. It was like, okay, this is, it was nicer weather the first time we'd gone there. And the last stop was Belize. Cozumel was the port we went into, Cozumel, Mexico, and did some shopping and spent most time in a port in Cozumel. We ate at a restaurant called Senior Frogs, which is a lot of fun. I will tell you, we had our first translation trauma because we go to Senior Frogs in lots of ports, and we've never run into where they didn't really speak English. Guitar Nut says, growing up in Pittsburgh, we had them everywhere. Oh, it was kind of scary as a child. Well, the engineering part, you are right. That was what really was kind of mind-blowing. And what was nice was they had a narrator on the TV channel. You weren't just watching it and wondering what was going on. They had a narrator, and they were giving all these facts. I mean, all the way back to the beginning of the possible construction, the history of it and everything, and that was really interesting too. I can't remember a lot of it because it was so many specific details, right? But it was interesting at the time to listen to it. It was a travel log, like being in a travel log, right? Yeah. But the engineering is what appealed to my dad. He was an electrical engineer, but any engineering appealed to him. And Mom and Dad went years and years and years ago. And it could be that they went through the old canal. Do you realize there is actually a new canal now? So, I don't know what the difference is, but it's possible that Mom and Dad did not go through the new canal. They went through the old one. I don't really know. Certainly could find it out. I could Google, find it, the history of it. But I want to go back to my translation trauma. In Cozumel, we went to Senior Frogs, and as I was saying, these are in ports everywhere, right? So we've been to many Senior Frogs and never have run into where they didn't speak English or present a bill to you in US dollars. Now, part of that is because they're mostly in the Caribbean, right? So so much of that is British or American anyway, so that's the reason why. In Cozumel, that's Mexico, and very much Mexican. So after we were done eating, he came. They do use electronics, right, to slide your credit card in, and we said, how much is, they presented me with a bill, but it was in pesos. I said, I'm sorry, can you tell me how much this is? We didn't have service to use the phone and check it ourselves. Excuse me. I still have I have not shaken I'm pretty much convinced it's bronchitis, but I haven't shaken it yet. So we said, how much is this in US? And our waiter gets out his phone or something and goes, and he says $177. And we about died. I mean, we have never paid more than $65 at the Senior Frogs, right? And my husband was just about ready to throw a huge fit when I said, listen, just pay it with a credit card. We'll pay it with a credit card. We can always discuss it with the credit card company and tell them that if they really do charge us that much, that it should not have been that much, and we deny the charge. So he did, and when we got home, the next day, I did call the credit card. It was $77. Oh no, okay, that's a little more than we usually spend, but it was like, oh, thank goodness, that's fine, you know. Oh shoot, but yeah, I mean they were not U.S. oriented at all. They were definitely Mexican, and that's okay. That's the way it should be when you travel. We got a good picture though out of it. They go around and take your picture and sell it to you, of course. But that was nice. We got a nice souvenir. What year do you think my mom and dad did that? Oh my, dad died in 2003. Is that right? Let me double check that. Yeah, that's right. Dad died in 2003. I would say 2000, 2002, somewhere in there. Now that I say that, that's not that long ago, right? It would not have been earlier than 95, I think. Yeah. 10 pesos, 1 US, give or take a bit. Yeah, well, they were giving or taking. Oh, I sound so naive, don't I? I am not really, but it threw us, because like I said, all of the other senior frogs that we'd gone to, they definitely were U.S. money oriented. The times I have gone to Mexico, I went to Mexico years and years and years ago, a number of times when I lived in California. I lived in L.A., and I would run down to California to buy real vanilla. Every once in a while, I'd go across the border to shop there and then come back. But like I said, that was years ago. And then, I mean, they really wanted U.S. money. They didn't want to tell you what it was in Mexican money. So, see, that would have been in the 80s when I lived out there in California. On the cruise ship, they had crafts every morning, and they had these pre-made kits, that they'd hand out free. I have never done that before, and I was just so taken with that, that the last day we were at sea, and I got up and I was, oh good, I can go to the craft day, that'll be fun. And on days at sea, you look for things to do, and they didn't do anything on that day, and I was so disappointed. But I'll show you some of the stuff that I made. It's like being at camp for adults. You would show up to craft time, yeah. I know. I sat there and talked to the people I was sitting next to, and it was nice. And we also, on that day, C-Day, I managed to meet up with other knitters. Well, I'll say crafters, because one lady was doing quilt squares. The other lady was knitting. And it was unfortunate. We met up on the last day of the cruise, but I went to what they call the observation deck. And I did spend a lot of my mornings. Hubby is a smoker, and he has to go to a certain area to smoke. So, he stays there a while. He gets to know the people who are smokers, right? And it's like his little community. And I can go there. It's outside. It's not that bad. But if there's some other things I want to do, and I do a lot of writing on these trips. I have journals that I keep for the cruises, and that takes time. It really does. So I spend a couple hours every day. And the observation deck is all windows, and you can see everything, and it's really nice. They have lots of comfortable places to sit, or they have table and chairs. They provide coffee and muffins in the morning. So, and there's a bar there, if you're into that. I had one with the tomato juice. I had some mimosas too. I didn't drink too much in the mornings. Anyway, I did a lot of writing there. And I was sitting there by the time that Friday, I really was caught up in the journal. I wasn't writing in, so I had my knitting. And I was sitting there knitting, and another lady came along. She says, "Oh, is this the knitting group?" I said, "Well, it can be." I didn't really, didn't really plan on it. And so she sat down, and she was the quilter. And she said, "Well, I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna go walk and look around, see if there's anybody else crafting up here in the observation." I said, "Okay." She said, "I'll be back." And she came back with another lady who was knitting socks and was going to meet up with a knitter who was going to teach her how to a special cast on for ribbing on socks. And the lady came. She was an Oriental lady, and they are amazing knitters. I'm pretty sure this lady is a teacher in her life of knitting and all that. But she was trying to teach her how to cast on, and maybe you all have seen this. I'm definitely gonna Google it, and if I find it, a video or whatever, I'll post it. But the way I do a sock is just, the cast on is all knit stitches. And sometimes that can be really tight on the cuff. I cast on really loose, like with 2 needles or something like that, to get around that. But if I'm doing a sock, I like to cast on with circular needles, and it's really hard to do 2 circular needles. Or you cast it on with 2 straight needles and you transfer it. And anyway, it was really slick. Okay, it was really slick because if you held your, like you have your yarn here and your needle here, if you held it and you went chuk 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 one way, you got a knit stitch, and if you went chuk 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 the other way, you got a purl stitch. Seriously, it looks, the very first row looks like knit and purls. And I think maybe the Twisted German might be it. I don't know. I will look that up. But if you get stitches that look both like knit and purl without knitting and purling first, right, then you're doing what she was teaching. And I wanted to remember it. I mean, I was listening, I was watching, I was, like, okay, I think I got this, I think. But the truth is, it just didn't stick because it was so different than what I do. But that was fun too. And the lady who was doing the quilting, she says, I gotta give you a rubber ducky. I said, what? She said, yeah, here, I got to give you a rubber band. And she had these tiny little rubber duckies that were multiple colors, and she let me pick out the color. And they're about the size of a gumdrop, big gumdrop, okay? And the thing about it is, she told me that if you're on a cruise and you find one of these little rubber duckies, you're supposed to post it on Facebook where you found it, right? So this is a Facebook group. I think it's Cruise Duckies, I don't know, something like that. And you post that you found it. And there's one person that, if they're going on a cruise, will get the rubber duckies and hide them. I mean, she just handed me mine. I should have found it, but they hide them on the cruise ship. So, if you ever find one, that's what it's all about. If you ever go on a cruise, and I'm gonna start looking. I told her, I said, if I found one somewhere, I would think, oh, a kid just left that laying there, or something. But this is actually a thing on the cruises. Hello, Holly. Welcome. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. How was your holiday? Oh, yeah, I know. That was impossible, too. The poor lady that was being taught, and I didn't want to get in their way, right? The poor lady that was being taught kept saying, wait, but she was trying to do it, and yeah, I know. It would have been good to get a video. Holly, we're talking about a cast-on for knitting that I saw somebody teaching somebody else on a cruise recently. I really don't know what it was called. Anyway, I will definitely be researching, see if I can find it. The lady claims her mother taught it to her, that it isn't a known cast-on. I doubt that, but, I don't doubt her mother taught her. I'm sure she did, but I'm sure somebody, somewhere, has captured the same thing on video. Holly said you had a quiet holiday. You made pork tenderloin yesterday. Yum. We did the traditional ham and when we went to my sister-in-law's, she had bought, I don't think she made it, she had bought smoked turkey, which is what I had. Oh, that was good. The bad part about going out everywhere for the holiday and not having it at your house is there's no leftovers. I miss the leftovers. The author? Oh, sorry, we're having a break and they didn't give me a warning. Sorry. An author I read is on a cruise and took some of the little rubber duckies to hide on board. Each one has a little tag on it. That's right. It's a Facebook group, and the tag tells you where to go on Facebook. Guitar Nut says, my well has been out for 5 days. I did not make a nice meal for Christmas this year. Oh my goodness. Yeah, your pump. Is it your pump? I'm figuring. I'll ask when you get back. All right, you all should be back, and that ad break hit before. I don't know why. That seems awfully soon. So I'm gonna write myself a note here to check the settings. I think they can arbitrarily come along and change stuff. I had set it so it would happen once an hour. Um, Guitar Nut, is it your pump on your well? We are very fortunate to have city water, but it's only been the last 10 years. So I have lived here 20 years. I had lived here with a well and pump, and we were forever replacing the pump, it seemed like. Although that's better than the well running dry. I hope that's not the situation. Not says you were gifted leftovers by a friend of mine, mostly smoked turkey and half a spiral cut ham. That's the meat for hubby and I the next 2 weeks. Yeah, that's wonderful, really. It's a nice gift. Oh, my daughter gave me handmade soap. That was something else she gave me. She told me to take it out of the bags, let it harden some more. But, I love when she makes soap. That was a surprise. She didn't tell me she made it. So she could surprise me with a gift. She gave me 3 nice bars. It is the pump. You were waiting for a part to show up, and it finally did, but it was the wrong part. You were able to figure out a temporary solution? Oh, okay. Good. Besides hauling it from the creek? Okay, been there, done that to flush the potty, I have to admit. It's just, you live in the country, man, and depend on a well, it is a problem if you don't have water. Well, it's a problem if you don't have water if you have city water, but it's less frequent of a problem. So much can happen with pumps and pipes and weather. You've been hauling water from your neighbors? Put 4 or 5 gallon buckets in your truck. Okay. Yeah. At least you have milder weather. I'm sure you get freezes, but not. The hardest on us was when the weather would go down below 15 degrees and stay there for 2 weeks. I mean, there was just no way we could keep the pipes from not freezing. We were talking with family yesterday. A year ago, we had lots and lots of snow and everything. I mean, the weather, it's like early April outside and has been for days. My fruit trees are going to start blooming here pretty soon if it doesn't chill down again. It's really too warm. Yeah, you got to water the bunnies and the chickens. Oh yeah, that's another thing you and I have talked about. Frozen water bottles. And heat in the barn. So the bunny's doing okay. Have you actually spun Angora yet? I gotta ask. Yeah. My goodness, I loved all of that when I was doing it, but I will tell you very honestly, I'm glad not to be taking care of animals. Got 3 cats. It's about 2 too many, but they're doing all right outside. My sister-in-law, they live in a big house out in the country. They're talking about moving. I mean, we're just getting up in years. Everybody is, from our peers, and not wanting to deal with it. You have. You made a gigantic bat. Oh. Did you post pictures anywhere? Carded is the best way to spin Angora. Some people pride themselves as to spin it without doing anything to it, right? And I have spun it that way, but my yarn is never smooth. I get a smoother yarn if I card it. I've never combed. I won't say never. I've used small hand combs and combed a little bit of Angora that way, but not big amounts. I've never used top. Homemade top. You did not. Let's see, what did I say? Another bomb, and this one's, look at, well, it's not as full. it'll come out probably pretty even. Excuse me. See, now I'm good and relaxed. Getting sleepy. It feels like a Sunday. It feels so much like a Sunday afternoon. Because this is when I stream. I am going to be mixed up on my days all week. Hubby and I are going out for New Year's Eve. We have a big hotel in the town over the way, and we got a room and a admission to their New Year's Eve party. Music and dancing and dressing up and the whole thing. That's gonna be fun. Only way to party, in my opinion. Where you stay there. We've done this before, but not this hotel. We've done it at others, various hotels in the area will do packages. Sometimes we've gone up to Indiana. Okay, let's see here. Make some notes. Finished. I am finishing. Unknown. It's interesting music. I'm not sure I like it, but oh, stretch break. Oh my gosh, it's right in an hour. My body knows. Oh. I think our electric went out. I just noticed hubby's computer's turned off. And, sometimes when our electric goes off enough, it'll do that. And mine was also not on. It was turned off. And that is not from us traveling. That happened overnight. See my finger? See that right there? I pinched my finger in the bathroom door of the cabin. I mean, it got me good. It's like, ow. Yeah. So I'm awaiting that black mark to grow out. Looks like I marked it with a marker. Yeah, one of the projects that I am thinking about doing this year is not fiber related. It's writing. As I told you, I've always done journals for the cruises, and this was like our 12th cruise. And I am wanting to do some kind of, it's not going to be like my journal in that sense, but a definite travelogue online. Probably put it on my blog. Of all of the different cruises we've done. Because we come home and, my daughter says, well, how was it? And I can tell her some things, but if I would go through those journals, there's a lot more details that I don't think to tell people when I'm just talking about it. And I'd like to have that, a synopsis or whatever of each one of them, of the trips. I just thought of something I've been meaning to do. Let me look something up here. I think that music might have gone on to something else. What is this music doing here? Oh, it just ended. Okay. All right. Let's see if we get any. This is called Cozy Morning. See if we get any ads. Okay, there it is. I'll put that over there. Go. I haven't done that in a long time. I fell asleep, I think. I think this bobbin's getting heavier too. Need a little more pull in. Oh man, we watched a really old movie last night at my sister-in-law's. I wonder when that movie was. Let me see here. Oh, I don't know which one we watched. Okay, it was Will Ferrell in Anchorman, and the original was in 2004, and the Anchorman 2 was in 2013. Not real sure which one we watched. I think we watched Anchorman 2 because it has the guy in the cowboy hat. And he was on that. So anyway, I don't know. I mean, I was a fan of the old Saturday Night Live with all of those, and Will Ferrell was part of them. All of those actors, They were all so good, and I was a fan of Saturday Night Live so for so many years, and then it just kind of those actors all went on and for their own career, and I never got into the newer ones that are on Saturday Night Live. I think the writers may have changed. To me, the comedy wasn't the same as it was on the originals years, but yeah, I mean, that was a big thing. Make sure to watch that every Saturday night. Hello. I just got a text. Nothing important. That's an ugly creature. Pokemon has a Santa Claus on their thing. I haven't been paying attention. Oh, he isn't always on there. He wasn't on the other one. Wonder why Santa's on it. That's unusual. Oh. Always forget there's no space. Nope. I was too slow. No, there's another break. Ad break. Gosh. Alright. Write these down. If I can figure that out when that was. It's been 30 minutes. Okay, the ads must be popping up every 30 minutes.
father founded St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
And the music has an ad. Let's just do it all same time here.
In 1984,
You should be back from the ads. One thing I forgot to talk about on the cruise, the arriving or flying there, getting there. We left Panama City. Okay, so we had to fly from Louisville to Miami, and then from Miami to Panama City, and we did that the morning. We left the morning of the day we were boarding the ship. So, I mean, we barely went to bed. We pretty much got up at 3:30 and got everything ready in the house to leave, and we had already packed and drive into the airport, park it. We do not leave our car in the airport. We give a key to my daughter, and she goes over with a second driver and picks it up, parks it at her house after we're gone, and then brings it back on the day we're coming back, or picks us up, one of the two. Anyway, all of that, of course, took a while, and we were really running late. We just barely made the Louisville flight. I went on ahead, told the boarding people, I said, my husband's on his way. He had gotten through security slower than I did because of a pocket knife. This crazy fool. Anyway, we did get on, but boy, that was stressful. And then we got to see the sunrise while we were flying, which was pretty awesome. It was pretty amazing because it was beautiful colors. And then we waited in Miami and waited and waited and waited and waited. It was a long layover, which was good because the airport is huge, and we walked it from where we got off to where we were boarding. But what surprised me, after we got to Panama City, they were not, at the airport, they were not set up to handle the number of people that were coming in for this cruise at the same time. Part of what we paid for was a package where once we got to Panama City Airport, they would have transportation buses to take us to the cruise ship. And you have to. I mean, it's about 30 minutes away from the airport, the port terminal. So you either take taxi or, as we were expecting, part of the transport package is a bus. And they just load these buses up, and they had lots of people, and they had two buses, and they were an hour between, because it was like 30 minutes to go and unload and 30 minutes back and pick up more people, right? It was a mess. And they wanted to make sure that you were supposed to be boarding that bus, so they had a guy, no computer or anything, no English. He had a stapled together sheath of 10 sheets of pages of names, and he wanted to check off each name that way. And people were getting so impatient and so upset. They weren't staying in line. They were just like, I'm getting on a bus as soon as there was a bus. So even if you were polite and stayed in line like everybody wanted you to, you got bumped. We were about the last person to get on we are the most polite people in the world, because we were probably the last people to get on the bus. Oh my gosh. Anyway, what I was all this was going towards was the fact that Panama City is a major metropolis, and I did not realize that. I always have this feeling that, it's a sleepy little South American country or whatever it is, right? It is major metropolis, and it is amazing buildings. The architecture is extremely modern. It's not like going through some of the big cities of the United States whose big buildings have been there forever and ever. These probably aren't all that old, and we saw some being built. So I was just like, like this at the window, looking up, trying to see, and it was very surprising and amazing and very interesting drive to get to which took away from my frustration of everything else going wrong. I was distracted, right, from the drama. We did not miss the ship. In fact, we had at least an hour or more that they were still boarding, but it was not a good experience in the airport. Now, coming home, we cruised through the Panama Canal, all up the coast of some of Mexico, and then cut across and then went to Miami. So the trip home was from the Miami airport, which of course we were already familiar with. It was a long wait, and the plane was packed. They were begging people, will you take a voucher for tomorrow? But we wouldn't do it. We wanted to get home. I mean, they were like, we'll give you a room, we'll give you dinner, and you leave in the morning. I was like, yeah, normally I'd do that, but we'd been away too long. I was ready to be home. Make sure the cats were all right. As it was, the two porch cats, they weren't there when we got home. It wasn't until later in the morning the next day that they showed up. I guess they were hunting. They were out hunting. Breakfast. Well, we're getting very close. This is going to work out exactly right. Be what I can get done in 2 hours. I love woolen drafting. It feels quick. Feels very quick. A little easier on my hands too. See, there's no Santa on that one. Wonder if they have special Pokemon for Christmas. If that's what that was. It shows the Santa. I'm sure there's places that you can be up to date on what they're doing, but I don't read anything like that. Yes, shame on me, but I am sleepy. Oh, I made stroopwafels. That is the only baking I did for Christmas. And I took them to my daughters. They were a big hit. It was nice. And it turns out I had ones that I deemed too brown, too overdone, that I kept here at home, and I've been munching on those, and I kept them out at room temp, not covered, and it turns out, yeah, they lose their crispness, but they're actually kind of good that way. I didn't put powdered sugar on all of them either. I did use the anise as the flavoring. That, you know, some people raise an eyebrow as like, I don't think I'd like that, but you just don't recognize it as anything but really good. I think that's the way I think. And maybe it's because I'm so used to that's the traditional flavor for them. I left my iron out. I'm gonna make another batch and just keep it. So I will have some during this 12 days of Christmas stint. I don't know what day I'll make them, but I figured while I'll have everything out, I'd go ahead and make another batch. I mean, hubby will eat them too, if they have the sugar on them, the powdered sugar on them. It's a real holiday thing. It's also Sock Madness thing, or it used to be. You made them for munching while you were knitting socks. I didn't see it mentioned too much this last year. Tea and stroopwafels. Excuse me. Oh, do I do all of this? No. Break it one more time here. So my daughter got the upgrade kit for her little Nando, her EEW. She was the first in our spinning group to get it. She got it through the first I think of it, you know, when he put it out
When you have these woke revolutions, it requires
for
all
sale.
of us
She got it
at
that
some
way.
point to say, no,
God, what am I
I'm not
trying
going
to
do
say?
this.
It's on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, so hers, by the time I got mine, it was a 2.0 or whatever. It was another version, and a lot of the things that were not really good about the first version, had been fixed. But she got a new motor, and she got a new flyer, and I spun on it yesterday, or Christmas Eve, while I was at her house, and it really made a big difference. It really spins nice now. Quick start. Isn't that it? Quick start. When people put out new products. Hi, Mass Bandit. I am good. Hope you had a good holiday. Belated Merry Christmas to you. Kickstarter. That's what it's called. Kickstarter. The spinning wheels were first, the EEWs were first introduced to the public through Kickstarter. And she got hers during that time. You caught me at the very end of my stream here, Mass Bandit. I got a little bit of fiber left to spin, and that'll probably be the end of the stream for me today. But I am streaming 12 days in a row for the 12 days of Christmas. So we'll be back tomorrow. This is my third year to do that. I was looking up at my videos on YouTube that I've uploaded to save, and 21 was the first Christmas that I did the 12 days in 2021. Oh, I am sorry for your dad's loss. Yeah, hospices, it's so hard. You needed a nap. That's good. Mass Bandit, you have my heart, and there's just no way to even words to say. It's something we all have to go through. It's part of being human, is that loss. And holidays can be so rough that way. For some reason, it often lands on a holiday. But I'm glad you're here and stopped by. clump here. There we go. My daughter was complaining yesterday when she was spinning on her EEW. She was spinning merino, and she says, it spins all right. She says, but every now and then it just ends, And I said, yeah, that's merino. It really is. This was a commercial prep, though, that she was spinning and had been commercially dyed. How we doing here? Pretty good. I need something fizzy to drink. I'm gonna have to get a Sprite or ginger ale or something when I get off here. Been drinking water, but it just hasn't been what I wanted. Okay, we are at 147 for an ad. All right. Yay. All right, you all are back. Thank you for watching the ads, putting up with that. I am done with the fiber that I was going to finish up today. So I will be having I'll have a new project. And like I said, over the next 12 days, it's not just going to be spinning. I'm going to be doing a lot of different things. So pop by when you can on the different days. see what I'm up to. I'm going to shut the music off here. And I'm going to go to Twitch and see here. See who's streaming. Topic: Stacy, Megan of all trades, Dragon Cat. I haven't seen the pottery lady for a long time. I'm going to plug in here and poke around a few people. See who's on. Come on, plug in.
So yeah, guys, how my shop works is I don't have anything pre-made. I don't have anything ready-made. Everything is made once you order it. Upon ordering. Everybody say hello to my mom. Hi, Deco Mom. How was the Sia this afternoon? I fed her. She has been fed. I swear, when the weather's nice and I go feed Sia, nowhere to be found. She is out there living her best life. If I go and it's raining, she's like, what took you so long? I've been sitting here all day waiting. Don't you know the day is atrocious and I can't be outside?
That's pretty funny. I
Stop
don't know if you can hear this or not, but it looks like she's making a phone.
Do I have pets? No. All of my pets live with my parents.
Thanks. Holly, thank you for the
Sia
stickers.
the cat lives with my parents, but when they're out for a trip, I'm the one that feeds her.
I'm still trying to figure out who I want to...
I'm also the one that feeds her in the sense that I pay for her food, her fancy cat food that she.
And they helped me pick this one out. So we go from this one to this
All
one.
right,
I'm like,
let's
okay,
go
this is very
see Ms.
similar.
Jenks.
But this one gets a bit more saturated, and then we end with
She's got
this,
yarn.
And I'm like, I don't know that I love this switch. Like, it's just gonna be crazy chaos. But now that I've wound this one up,
Where'd
it's
you
one of my
guys go?
original ones I
There you
wanted
are.
to use,
All right.
I
Take care,
don't
everybody. I'll be
think they
back
are very
tomorrow. I
similar.
think
This
at the
one
same
just has
time.
more white,
3 to
this one
5.
has, like,
That's what I'm
little
aiming
to
for
none.
right
It
now.
fits-
I'll let you know
it's got
in
tiny
Discord
bits
if it
of light
changes.
color, but it's definitely more along the
Let me
pinks.
mute her
But it's
for a
got some
moment
fun
here.
greens and things. And then
Okay. While I'm trying to talk, yeah. And I'll see you tomorrow. We're going to go see Ms. MZ Jens with an X. So take care, everybody. Thank you for sticking around the whole stream. Let me see if I remember how to raid. Oh, here. See if I can remember the raid call. No, that's not it. It should be. Why didn't it work? Don't tell me that's broken too. It is. My raid call's broken. Oh, poo. Alright, well, so much to do. Where's my underline? Where's my underline? Uh-oh. Here it is. Nope, other one. Let me make sure this is right. MZJENNX. Okay. All right. Very, very good. You all go check her out and say hello and have a great rest of your evening. Stay safe, stay healthy, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Javi. I put a little bit of salt in to take out the caramel. Yarn spinners! Tails, hello! I saw them.